What's the biggest scam in life that no one wants to admit? Number 1. Data caps. The funny, not funny part is that they advertise unlimited data up to a certain number. And government regulators allow those companies to get away with it. Number 2. The prices of anything baby-related. Toys, food, clothes, etc. Was in a store on Saturday to get a cot mattress and cover. I cried. We bought dog poop bags to dispose of diapers on the go because it was so much cheaper than a baby equivalent. Tiny roll of those bags lasts forever in a diaper bag. Put baby in a product name and suddenly it's so much pricier than an equivalent product not marketed the same way. Number 3. Online convenience fees. My bank has free bill pay and will mail them a check if they don't have any other option. So now they get a check from me and the inconvenience fee is their own cost to process the thing, get paid slower, etc. When I moved into my current place, it was already wired for Comcast internet, so I called them up and they said they would ship me the equipment and send out a tech to set it up. I said, it's just plugging it in and calling you guys, right? I can handle that, no tech and I'll avoid an installation fee. So IT showed up, plugged it in, and was in business in 5 minutes. But then on the next bill, there was a $15 self-install fee. Motherfudgers charged me to plug in my own shit. I recently paid $10 in convenience fees at AMC to buy tickets online instead of purchasing tickets at the theater. Doesn't purchasing tickets online allow them to save money on having fewer employees run the ticket booth? I get that it costs them money to run a website, but $10 for a convenience fee? It just isn't justified. Number 4. The entire wedding industry. To be clear, not marriage but weddings specifically. I'm happily married to my wife and we were content to do something special, just the two of us. Maybe spend a couple of grand and treat ourselves a little bit to something amazing. Cue the families getting involved and before you know it we're spending closer to 20 grand on one day and feeding a bunch of people I've not heard of before or since the wedding. Number 5. Fashion trends, and the incredible amount of waste it creates. If everyone learned how to mend and alter garments in school, and value was placed on investing in a few quality-made items instead of a closet full of disposable fast fashion, there would be way less clothing in landfills and way less demand for chemical-laden garments to be cranked out in sweatshops. Our relationship with clothing is so warped. Buying secondhand is a great way to wiggle out of the grip of the fashion industry if it's available to you. Number 6. The easy-to-join, difficult-to-cancel subscription model. Pioneered by gyms. I canceled mine as soon as lockdown started and I put together a home gym. Literally had to print out something from their website and mail it in, then call them 3 times. That whole business model is based on people signing up, not going, and putting off canceling due to a combination of not wanting to admit failure and the whole process being a pain in the ass. If everyone with a gym membership went just twice a week, they'd have a real problem on their hands. Number 7. That the fashion industry is anything other than planned obsolescence, designed simply to get people to spend money for no reason. Number 8. That large global companies actually care about you. If you ever go to Atlanta, go to the Coke Museum. The first room you enter is a small theater that locks on both sides and makes you sit through like a 10 minutes ad that tries to brainwash you into linking Coke with family, happiness, love, etc. It's not even subliminal. Number 9. Buying a star and naming it. A waste of your cash and time. The only organization that can name a star is the International Astronomical Union. Number 10. The subscription-based economy. This makes me so angry. Why does everything have to be a subscription now? I mean, I know why, but I still hate it. I imagine it's a ton of easy profit. Instead of having to constantly advertise to keep you hooked and buying each month, they just have to hook you once into a long-term commitment. Number 11. Paying exorbitant amounts of money for health insurance, and still having to pay boatloads of cash for any doctor and hospital visits. Number 12. The fact that airlines have X amount of seats per flight, but almost always sell X plus 10 seats and then refund you about 80% of your ticket cost. Do that to the 10 people and suddenly you have about 2 tickets worth of profits seemingly out of nowhere, and everyone still has a flight. Just an unbelievably immoral way to gain a few bucks, but everyone just goes with it since the airplanes aren't exactly a train that comes every 10 minutes. Number 13. Ticketmaster. I used them to go see my first comedian. Got 2 seats priced at $90 each. My total was $313. I'm not good at math, but I knew something was wrong there. Their fee per ticket is just nuts. I ended up getting seats that were about $45 each and it still cost me almost $200. I haven't used Ticketmaster for a while. I remember years ago you had 3 options for delivery of your ticket. 1. It could be mailed out to your home address. 2. You could pick it up at the venue box office, if it had one. 3. You could select digital delivery where you would have to print a ticket at home. There were fees for all of the options. You had to pay a fee for a print your ticket at home delivery option. Tip from inside the industry. Ticketmaster has a deal with Groupon that makes selling tickets there super easy. Always check Groupon for the show before buying through Ticketmaster. Number 14. How the fudge does health insurance not cover dental and vision? What kind of shenanigans is that? And dental insurance basically covers nothing besides my yearly cleaning, it seems. I have an uncommon condition that basically necessitates I get some implants. My dentist has explained that I need this and that I'm in pain and could potentially get an infection that could be really bad for my health. But my insurance says it's purely cosmetic, so they won't pay for any of it. Edit. There are too many comments on this for me to respond to them individually. But to answer the common questions, I elected to get the best dental I could because I know I have work that needs to be done. I pay $39.60 every 2 weeks for my wife and me. It actually has decent coverage for a lot of things, but I didn't really see the whole medically necessary versus cosmetic loophole coming. My dentist has already given my insurance his professional opinion and made his case for it being necessary. Unfortunately, insurance companies have boards that can ultimately decide what is and isn't necessary. I've been trying to get the benefits I pay for, but it seems that there's nothing I can do about it at this point. Long term, I'm hoping to get it done at a dental school for cheap or to go to another country to have it done. And no, I will not be renewing my insurance next cycle lol. Yeah, dental insurance is basically just an employee benefit masquerading as an insurance product. Another commented, my dental insurance through my employer costs like $100 per year and is a pretty good deal for 2 cleanings a year plus x-rays and some occasional other benefits like discounted fillings. But it doesn't do the one thing that insurance is supposed to do, which is cover catastrophic losses. The kinds of things you can't easily pay for out of pocket and which could bankrupt you. I don't need insurance for the occasional filling. I need insurance for the rare chance that my teeth get totally fudged up and I end up needing multiple costly implants. But if you try to buy dental insurance not from an employer, it often looks like a pretty shit deal. I just pulled a random quote and it was $430 for me to get coverage. That coverage included regular visits, 80% of fillings, and 50% of major work, but with a $1,500 per year max benefit, so if you need 5 figures worth of implants, you're still screwed. Number 15. Health insurance is the biggest scam of this century. You pay them every month in hopes they can cover you when you need it, and they do everything in their power to not give you your money back. Even if a doctor says you need treatment or medicine, your insurance can say, fudge you. And keep your money? That part is what bothers me. My doctor, the person who has examined me and worked with me, who knows my medical history and is trained, says I need X. Insurance says it is not needed. How the fudge is the insurance going to deny what is needed when my doc says it is? My husband had to prove to our insurance that he had tried the less expensive medications before they'd cover his meds. Like, literally months of meds that don't work. Doc had given him free sample of the expensive meds, and they worked great. But insurance didn't want to cover that much unless we could prove it was the only one that worked. For mental health medication, his mental health, my mental health, and our relationship struggled in that time because he was very dysregulated. Thank goodness the pharmacist was happy to help and literally dug back through all his prescription files to show what he'd tried. Number 16. That climate change is up to each individual to go green. It was a campaign by BP that pushed the solution as each individual going green instead of the dozen massive corporations that account for the lion's share of greenhouse gases. Going green is good, but it's a drop in the bucket compared to oil companies, industrial farming, and cargo ships. Number 17. Giving parents your money for safekeeping as a kid. When I was a kid, I discovered my grandma has a puzzle box on her dresser. Being a stupid kid, I couldn't figure out how to open it. After a few unsuccessful attempts at just asking her to show me, I got crafty, as only a stupid kid can, and thought I'd trick her into showing me. So I gave her a $2 bill I got somewhere and asked her to keep it safe for me in her puzzle box. Well, Grandma knew exactly what I was doing, so the attempt failed. I never got to see her open it and promptly forgot about the whole thing. Fast forward 20 years, Grandma has now died and Mom's going through her safe to figure out what's what and runs across an envelope in with my name on it. Inside is a $2 bill and a short note explaining that it belongs to me and it was given to her for safekeeping. She did keep it safe for me, right next to the deed to her house and other important financial documents. Even though it was a silly attempt at trickery and not a genuine request. I did end up getting that puzzle box, and as an adult it took about half a second to figure out how to open it. It currently contains a rattlesnake rattle that my grandma got as a little girl. That was her treasure she kept in the puzzle box, a $2 bill, and that note. Number 18. Tipping culture. It's how businesses scammed the general public into paying additional costs so they could avoid paying their staff a living wage. The other day I went to eat out, and when the check came, the credit card machine now had the suggested tip starting at 25% all the way up to 45%. Oh, and when I looked at the check, they had already served themselves with 18%. Number 19. We work the majority of our lives, during our fittest years of health, for the promise of a golden retirement, when we will probably too old and ill to enjoy it properly. I saw this exact thing happen to my dad. He worked his ass off for his entire life, got hurt on the job and was forced to retire, but he at least did get a nice settlement from the injury, but then immediately discovered that he had cancer, and died a few weeks after surgery to remove said cancer due to a blood clot that the doctors never spotted. He never got to enjoy any of the things that he always wanted to during his retirement. Number 20. That we're supposed to work for the rest of our lives. This is the correct answer. We work more hours on average today than peasants did under feudalism. Not only this, but in the 1930s one of the fathers of modern economics, John Maynard Keynes, predicted that with projected efficiency gains, by the year 2000 we'd only need to work 15 hours a week to maintain a comfortable and modern standard of living. Not only did we achieve those productivity gains, we actually doubled them. We could be working 7-hour weeks today and taking 6-day weekends, but instead we're working the same hours we were when he made his predictions nearly 100 years ago now. Why? Because the efficiency dividend didn't go to the workers, the capitalists and the CEOs pocketed the lot of it. Just look at graphs of workers versus CEO salaries over time, and the rise of the uber rich. We're being screwed and cheated, and royally so.
What was your favorite story? Let us know in the comments or share your own. Like and subscribe, and see you in the next one.